The name Maria Mandel is synonymous with cruelty, sadism, and murder. As one of the few female Nazi concentration camp officials, she oversaw the torture and death of thousands of innocent people during the Holocaust. But what led Mandel down this path of evil? What was her childhood like, and how did she become one of the most notorious figures of the Third Reich? Born in Munskirchen, Austria in 1912, Maria Mandel was the youngest of 4 children. Her father was a shoemaker and her mother a homemaker, and the family lived a modest life. From an early age, Mandel was known for her beauty and charm, and she quickly became the apple of her father's eye. But beneath her angelic exterior, there was a darkness that would soon emerge. As a child, Mandel was a devout Catholic, attending church regularly and participating in the local choir. However, her religious fervor took a sinister turn when she became obsessed with the idea of purifying the world of sin and evil. She would often speak of the need for harsh punishments for those who strayed from the path of righteousness, and she was known to be a strict disciplinarian, even at a young age. Despite her strict upbringing, Mandel was a popular girl, with many friends and admirers. She excelled in school, particularly in subjects like history and literature. However, her academic success was marred by her growing fascination with the Nazi Party. In the early 1930s, when Mandel was in her late teens, she joined the Hitler Youth and became an ardent supporter of the Third Reich. Mandel's involvement with the Nazi Party marked a turning point in her life. She became increasingly radicalized, attending rallies and meetings, and even participating in paramilitary exercises. Before you continue watching, please subscribe to my channel and like it. Of course, this is optional, the main thing is to be sincere. Her family and friends were alarmed by her transformation, but Mandel was undeterred. She saw herself as a crusader for the Nazi cause, and she was determined to do whatever it took to further their goals. Mandel worked in a number of concentration camps throughout her career, including Ravensbrück, Auschwitz-Birkenau, and Mauthausen-Gusen. Her career began in 1938, when she was appointed as a guard at the Lichtenberg concentration camp in Germany. In 1939, she was transferred to Ravensbrück, a women's camp near Berlin, where she rose through the ranks to become one of the most powerful women in the Nazi regime. In 1942, Mandel was appointed as the leader of the women's camp at Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest and most deadly of all the concentration camps. She oversaw the day-to-day operations of the camp, including the selection of prisoners for the gas chambers, and was known for her brutal treatment of the inmates. She was also responsible for the medical experiments conducted on women at the camp, which included sterilization and other forms of torture. Mandel's power within the camp hierarchy was unparalleled, and she was known for her close relationship with the infamous Auschwitz commandant, Rudolf Höss. She was also known for her hatred of Jews and her willingness to use violence and torture to extract information from prisoners. One interesting fact about Mandel is that she was known for her obsession with cleanliness and hygiene, and was reportedly responsible for the introduction of disinfectant showers at Auschwitz. She also had a love of music, and was known to organize concerts for SS officers and other high-ranking officials at the camp. But Mandel's reign of terror was not to last. As Allied forces closed in on Germany in the waning days of the war, Mandel fled Ravensbrück and went into hiding. She was eventually captured by American troops in May of 1945 and brought to trial for her crimes. Mandel was put on trial in 1947, along with several other high-ranking officials of the concentration camp system. The trial was held in Krakow, Poland, and lasted for several months. Mandel was charged with war crimes and crimes against humanity, including murder, torture, and the selection of prisoners for the gas chambers. The following is a first-hand account of Mandel's treatment of prisoners upon arrival to Auschwitz, provided by Jewish prisoner Sala Fader on December 1, 1947. In August 1943, I was deported together with my family from the ghetto in Srajala near Sosnowiec to Auschwitz, in a transport numbering some 5,000 people. At the ramp in Brno, the transport was awaited by the defendant Mandel accompanied by SS woman Margot Dreschel, and as soon as the transport had arrived, Mandel carried out a selection, sending approximately 90% of the transport to the cars which transported these people to the nearby crematorium. In my block, 700 women were chosen out of 1,000. In the whole camp, Mandel selected several thousand women, and all of them, naked, were crammed into one block 25, where they stayed for 7 days and nights without food or water. On the night of September 27, they were transported to the crematorium. For the period of these 7 days, we heard horrible screams and groans issuing from that block, and when the women were taken to the crematorium, the block elder, a Slovakian woman named Sila, told us that after those 7 days there were more corpses than living people in that block. I cannot mention every beating, because the defendant Mandel used to beat the prisoners with a whip and kick them at every opportunity and for no reason whatsoever. Towards the end of 1944, I was transferred to Auschwitz, from where I fled on January 17, 1945, a day before the evacuation of the camp. At the trial, Mandel showed no remorse for her actions. She claimed that she was simply following orders and that she had no choice but to carry out the atrocities she committed. However, her defense was unconvincing, and the evidence against her was overwhelming. Numerous witnesses testified to her cruelty and sadism, and she was found guilty on all counts. Mandel was sentenced to death by hanging, along with several other high-ranking officials. However, the sentence was not carried out immediately. Instead, Mandel and the others were held in prison while their appeals were considered. It was during this time that Mandel's true character was revealed. She remained defiant and unrepentant, even as her fellow defendants began to express regret for their actions. Mandel continued to claim that she had done nothing wrong, and she even wrote letters to her family in which she expressed pride in what she had done. Finally, in January of 1948, Mandel's appeals were exhausted, and her sentence was carried out. She was led to the gallows, where she was hanged alongside the other defendants. It was a fitting end for a woman who had shown no mercy to her victims. Thanks for watching, friends. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and like it. See you soon.